All right, boys and girls, today what we're going to do is select the house and then draw it and shade it using the pen and ink techniques that I've been teaching you. So we're going to first of all have to pick out the right house. So once you have the right house, we're going to start to draw it with a pencil. Then we'll come in and we'll add the different textured hatching as we saw in the previous videos. All right, let's get started. As you can see here, I've got this house picked out. You want to pick a house that's not too difficult, not too challenging, but something that interests you, because we're going to be spending a great deal of time on this. So I've picked out this simple Victorian house with a Queen Anne tower on the left-hand side, kind of an asymmetrical look and feel, with some trees in the background, bushes in the front. All right, now that you've seen my picture, let's go ahead and get started on how to draw and shade this using pen and ink techniques. So the first thing you're going to do is sketch out your design, sketch out your house using a pencil. We want to keep it light so that we can erase. We want to sketch it out in such a way that it fills the entire surface. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of map out where I think the halfway point is. So on my house, I can see that right in the center is this long triangle shape. So there's a triangle shape here. So I'm going to look for these shapes as I go. So somewhere in the center is a long triangle shape like this. That comes down and it has a couple of columns on each side and a front door. So there's a front door somewhere over here. And again, I'm just sort of mapping this out very lightly with pencil, as you can see. And what I want to do is, before I go too far, is just make sure I can fit this whole thing on my page. Then I see that the roof continues outward and then back like this. And then the roof on this side comes outward, except this time it curves, something like this, and continues back. And there are some columns here as well. Now I'm looking, and the porch seems to have these little boxes, and then a railing which disappears, and there are some boxes here, and then another set right about here where there's some more columns that come up and reach the top here. And so I see these columns right in here, and I'm going to put those right there. So two columns, double columns. And again, I'm not going to get caught up right now on the details. I'm just sketching in these basic shapes as I see them. Let's go to the other side and do the same thing. So I've got a set of double columns here, and I've got a set of double columns, actually triple columns, but you can only see two of the columns. And so the other set of double columns is here. And again, it's about the same height. And then the porch continues around and underneath, and there's another set somewhere in here. Alright, once you finish with the pencil sketch and you're happy with the pencil sketching, now we're going to come in and we're going to start to outline everything and add special textured details. So for instance, on the windows, you're just going to keep it light with some little marks like this, as you'll see when I go. On the roof, more likely I'm going to put some textured marks. Where I want it to be delicate, I'm going to use small stippling marks. Where I want it to be dark, I'm going to build up the density of the ink by putting cross-hatched marks. For the trees, I'll just simply imply the trees with some squiggly marks that resemble trees. For the stones, same type of thing. So you can watch as I go how I use different textures for different areas of the building and use the sketch as a basis to kind of outline and refine what I'm doing as far as the pen and ink goes. In the end, I'll come back and I'll erase all the pencil. All right, let's get into it. All right, when it looks like it's finished, when you look like it's finished, you can come in and use the eraser to clean it up. You'll notice that we put some textures here on the roof, just using some upside down T's to create the illusion of a roof texture. I put some stippling. I used our stippling texture here just to show a flat surface. I used small lines here to show clapboard surfaces. I used some directional hatching here to show the different tree shapes and the bushes out front. I used some cross hatching here to show this latticed area. All right, and so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go back now and erase to see if I missed anything. And good, so when you're happy with it, you could go ahead and sign your name. And we'll call it a drawing. Pen and ink drawing, architectural facade.